Michael Cook is not here, so for the pledge, we will have, who's going to carry on? Sure.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, thought for the day, Jim Guam.
Jim?
Oh, 18.
18 is on today.
We'll see.
I'm especially dedicating this to the hard workers at Cajun Festival. The best cure for weariness is the challenge of helping someone who is even more tired. One of the great ironies of life is this: he or she who serves almost always benefits more than he or she who is served.
And Confucius said, wherever you go, go with all your heart. Song by Stu Carroll.
Marty. How are you, Bill?
I am
fine today. What do you think? Nice flag today?
Yeah?
Yeah? Grand old flag?
Sure.
All right, here we go. You're a grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag, and forever in peace may you wave. You're the emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave. Every heart beats true for the red, white, and blue, where there's never a boast or brag. Would all acquaintance be forgot, keep your eye on the grand old flag.
And before you sit down, get around and greet someone.
Everybody know Larry?
Good to see you. Nice job.
Yeah, well,
Probably back to Eddie. From time to time. Not very much the skill of the whole thing. But I think
Michael, do we have any visiting Rotarians? No visiting Rotarians today. I know we have some guests today, so who would like to introduce some guests? Here you go, John.
I think it's working. Yeah. I'd like to introduce Mariah Volk, who runs a very interesting program called Shoes for Kids that was the recipient of a community grant this year. And Mariah's in Sebastopol and does a lot of different things, but Shoes for Kids is her labor of love.
So a couple of years ago, I got tired of taping the soles back on my students' shoes. I'm a PE teacher. And I started a fundraiser in hopes of raising maybe a couple $100 to get shoes for my students who were the most in need. And that fundraiser just became something much greater. And now it's 2 years later, I have a nonprofit and have handed out almost 800 pairs of shoes in Snowtown. And really it's because of organizations like Rotary who have helped us to keep going, and we're hoping to be a long-term staple in the community. So thank you for your help.
Thank you. Mike over there.
Again, I'm pleased to introduce two people from our hospital, John Palusis, who's the CEO for our hospital, and Barbara Buckelsang, who's the Chief Nursing Officer.
Good morning. Marty.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to introduce Larry Robinson, who will be our speaker today, and a friend of Sonoma County, and specifically Sebastopol.
Good morning, Larry. Other guests? Okay. What do we have here? Somebody hand Andrea a microphone.
Hi everyone. This was in
The group picture at the first get together.
yeah, we all met with all the exchange students from District 5130 met at a camping trip, and we went rafting, and this is kind of like the last picture we took on Sunday morning, everyone together with the flag. So yeah.
That's great. Do you have a good time?
Yeah, it was. I met a lot of good people. They're all very nice.
And where was it?
It was at Someone's home compound up near Willow Creek, or in Willow Creek, California, right by the Trinity River.
Great. Alan. All you gotta do is yep.
All right, good morning.
Stop working out?
Is it working?
Yes.
All right. Good morning. I'm Alan. And Whitney had asked me to do a 2-minute talk on vocation. But before I started, I wanted to state that if there's any correlation between the profitability of my vocation and how long I should talk, I've already exceeded my talk. We'll start from there. The other thing that Whitney had told me, which sounds really cool, unless he made it up, was that initially with Rotary, the group would rotate from one business to the other to get exposure and everybody kind of talk about what to do. So this is kind of a cool process of what they're doing. So this is my background. I was born and raised in Modesto, California, and back then it was known for Gallo Winery and George Lucas. And then I left and it became known more for Chandra Levy and Lacey Peterson. Education, I went to Modesto Junior College for 2 years, and then I transferred to UC Davis and got a bachelor's degree in political science. From there I moved down to Southern California and got a job as an NBC page out of college. That was a lot of fun. It was about a 2-year job. It was right around the time that Johnny Carson was phasing out of the Tonight Show. But I did get to do Stump the Band with Johnny Carson one night that I've still got on a VHS tape somewhere. That was fun. From NBC I left and decided I wanted to become an advertising copywriter. And so created a portfolio and landed a job at a large agency in Los Angeles, Ogilvy and Mather, and primarily worked on Microsoft. Back then, they only really did print advertising. And I also worked on Mattel Toys, and one of my, I guess I wouldn't call it a claim to fame, but I introduced Polly Pocket to the world. A lot of fun. All right, then after about 15 years in advertising, we decided to move up here to Sonoma County. And I didn't want to go into San Francisco to do advertising. I was kind of tired of it. So for some reason, I decided to become a CPA when I was in my mid-40s. And probably not the smartest move I've ever made. I didn't really enjoy sitting in front of a computer all day. So anyway, I did that for about 12 years. And then about 2 years ago, I started to work with a friend who had a couple of businesses that he had tried to get off the ground and had some success, and then the economy, there were some issues and stuff. So I've kind of taken the last year and have donated concentrated on trying to see if I can revive these businesses. And one of my favorite philosophers is Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec. I don't know if you guys know who he is. One of his gifts was never half-ass two things. Full-ass one thing. And I should have taken this advice, because right now I'm 7/8 asking 2 types of businesses. And the first one, let me see if I can. I build stereo speakers, and I can't take any credit for the acoustic design and everything of them. They're designed by a well-known electrical engineer. His name is Siegfried Linkwitz. I know Dan, yeah. Some people here had worked with him at Hewlett Packard. Just a wonderful guy. He designed various types of speakers. This is just a base of one of the speakers that we recently built out of Bubinga. This is the same type of speaker. They're open baffle. So these are woofers and subwoofers. There's no, is this mic kind of going in and out?
Yeah. Keep it up, Al.
You need speakers like that.
So they're open baffle, and which means they're not enclosed in a chamber. The sound is really good. They're amazing sounding speakers. I just participated in the California audio show at the end of July. It was in Oakland, California, a 3-day show. And this set of speakers I sell for about $3,500, which sounds like a lot of money. And to me, when I first got into this, that was a lot of money. But I was next door to rooms that had speakers that were selling for $300,000 a pair. So in the audiophile world, this is not a very expensive speaker. They had 5 award categories, and I took first place in one of them. It was the most affordable component. And then I took second place in 2 other categories, best industrial design, and blanking on what the other one was. So I did well on the show. And so Benton has set up a website for me that I've got online, and so I'm marketing the speakers there. The lxspeakerfactory.com. Just a close-up of the subs. Let me see if I can. That's the room at the show where I'm doing the presentation. All right. Now, the other 7/8 assing business that I'm doing is this product, and it's called the Lap Sharp, and it is a sharpening system for woodworking tools. And if you look at it, that's an 8-inch platter, the disc on the top. So it sort of works like an old-style record player. Instead of putting an LP on, you've got an aluminum platter with various grades of abrasives. So I can go down to like 36 grit, which is a really, really coarse grit, up to 0.3 micron, which is just an amazingly smooth finish. And so people will use this to do chisels and hand planes. The competition, there's 2 other manufacturers that do a machine similar to this. The biggest problem with this machine is that I sell it for $800 and it costs me about $900 to make. So, and I'm an accountant. So I'm working on it, trying to figure out ways that I can get the cost down. But it is, it's a good machine. The other types of sharpeners that you'll see, they're kind of like a round wheel that spins. The problem with those is that you're limited to whatever grits those 2 wheels are on the machine. And because the wheel is rounded, when you sharpen your plane irons or chisels with it, you get a little bit of a concave in there called a hollow grind, which is a problem for some tools, like the Japanese style woodworking tools. You never want a hollow grind. So the Lap Sharp was just reviewed in the October issue of Wood Magazine. So this is kind of that's the front page of the article. This is my machine here. And
I got a wood.
the comments were really good. They liked the machine, but they pointed out the thing of, well, the machine's great, but there's another machine that's very similar that costs $400 less. So.
Oops.
But I mean, the thing is, if you look at the machines, the machine that I'm doing is built like a tank. It's really way more industrial and heavy duty than the competition, but it is expensive. All right, I think that's it. That's my 2 minutes.
Thank you, Alan. We're going to skip ahead a little bit and bring Matt up here, and we're going to talk about the
Who's that guy? Oh, that guy.
There you go.
You know, notwithstanding our great adversary in the weather, I mean, it was an iron.
Microphone, please.
Does this work?
Not yet.
It's a tough crowd, tough crowd.
There you go.
Check, check.
You gotta take care of it.
I'll trade you. You need to be a social studies major.
All right, so most everyone here knows that the weather on Saturday was 111 degrees in town. It was just an iron fist. Unbelievable. But notwithstanding that act of God, I'm telling you, this was, in my memory, one of the most beautiful, professionally executed and staged Cajun festivals we've ever had. I mean, it was really awesome. And, you know, I gotta thank each and every one of you. I can't remember. I don't know everything that you did, but I know that every time I looked, there was someone, you know, giving splendid effort. You know, real shining example of Rotary and what it stands for. And forgive me if I forget and don't know all the things that all the individuals did. I did want to recognize a handful of people and bring them up here. And notwithstanding that, I got to send a shout out to Judy, to Gail, to Jim Bertero, to Bruce Campbell backstage, David Mark Raymond, and so many others. You all did a splendid job. But anyway, so will Michael McLaughlin, Charlie Judson, Terry Kelly, Jerry, Scott, Gus, our hot wire guy, and Bill Sauber, please come forward. So this is I had anticipated making this a little bit longer, but you know, we do what we can. Okay, so hold on 1 second.
That's a testosterone.
Suitable for framing, right? Oh, Michael. Look at Harry. Jerry. Scott and Gus are hot wire guy. And then finally, Bill. Here guy. So these guys, you know, like I say, all of you did splendid work, all of you. And I would also like to bring up Barbara Barney, our CPA par excellence, an accountant. Thank you so very much. Obviously, without you, the mission of Rotary doesn't proceed. Michael just did a fantastic job getting bands, organizing, promoting food. I mean, he did everything. He bought liquor, and and I hope we have some of that. By the way, Linda has graciously offered to host a wrap-up party on Friday evening at her place down the hill, which is so beautiful. So 6, Linda, something like that?
6 is perfect.
Come if you can, come if you will. And you watch Whitman fall down again. But Michael, great organizational work. Jerry with his wonderful beer and wine meistership. Bill, Buckstop here guy, came to many meetings. Charlie, unbelievable facilities job. And you know, Wayne, I do have a certificate here for Wayne, but poor Wayne, you know, and so the weight fell on Charlie. Terry, what a fantastic volunteer job. Every year he does it, every year he does an excellent job. Scott, our art director, beautiful artwork, the reason why I originally was involved in got involved in the Cajun Festival and this club, really. And Gus, tireless electrician that he is, and connoisseur of beer, as I know. By the way, so I have 8 bottles of beer, some nasty ale of various sorts, and I also have a Corona for those who might like it. So I'm going to have you guys, the guys, file here, pass this blue refrigerator, blue ice chest, and take what you will. And then I have a special thing for Barbara, because I thought maybe beer is the thing. So I got a little bit of chocolat. It's chocolate. So again, thank you, each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Linton, thank you so much for your work, and all of you. And again, I apologize that if I've forgotten individuals. Al, I see every one of you. I wish I could come around and thank you each individually. Richard?
We should thank Matt.
So, rock on. Hope you can come on Friday night. Onward and upward.
Thank you, Matt.
By the way, I've got I have a meeting with an expert at my office.
Matt, I'd like to recognize Barbara for putting together the first aid.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much to Barbara and John for what you did, you know, helping us with the medical there. Couldn't have done it without help like this. And really all of our sponsors, Mark Olson, thank you so much, Mark, every year steps to the plate. And so thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
Okay, so we don't run out of time. We're going to do things pretty quickly. Bill Field's side of the week is, yes. In Penny Lane, there is a barber showing photographs of every head he's had the pleasure to. Anyway, this day in history, Michelangelo started work on David. If you've never seen David, it will just strike you down. It is just an amazing piece of work. So, yeah, this day in history. What's that? Looked like a big rock. Also, on this day in history, Marty Chase Smith was elected to the Senate. She's the first woman to have done both a U.S. representative and a U.S. senator. Birthdays in history, Milton Hershey in 1857. Everybody knows him for chocolate, but he also founded the town of Hershey. He also founded the Milton Hershey School for Boys. He was an exceptional philanthropist. He started building the Hershey Hotel in like 1928 and 29 when the collapse occurred. He kept on building. He funded it out of his own money and kept workers employed even though the economy was in the tank. So Milton Hershey, a great man. Also born in 1943 on this day, Mildred D. Taylor. She was an author of books about the black experience in the old Deep South. Some great books. Rotarian birthdays. Tomorrow, John Boletto. So, if you see, what's that?
Picking grapes.
He's picking grapes. Lots of them. Rotarian partner birthdays. Kyle's birthday coming up. Lyle's. Kyle Lyle, man. He's been called one. Yeah. That was your other husband. Now, we also have, I'm not sure if I can get this thing to run. There it goes. Jim. let me stop this for a second. Okay.
This was an event put on at our house, and my wife has been doing peace ceremonies for about 40 years, and she aligned with this group from Japan, the World Peace Prayer Society, and 15 Japanese people came because they were so devoted to creating peace through their ritual or their ceremony, and this depicts the ceremony. And I was actually very overwhelmed and surprised by the depth and sacred character of this meeting. So my wife put this together, and it's just a sweet little vignette. A lot of prayers were done for peace. These people meet at Mount Fuji every year and do a big peace ceremony. The Japanese were so gracious, so kind, bowing, being so respectful, happy to be with us to pray for peace. Saying, may peace prevail on earth. So it started with planting the peace bowl, and the next part of the ritual is waving flags from each country around the world. They have 194 flags that they brought over from Japan, and they're all rolled up in a special box. To hold the flag, and they say the mantra, may peace prevail on earth for each country of the world. It took quite a while. But the idea is to have the intention of praying for each country. These people were so wonderful, and the effect of the ceremony was felt by everybody. Many people were in tears. That's Hero. He's saying something in Japanese, and we'll find out what he's saying.
It always just comes back to another Beatles song, doesn't it? board meeting is next Monday night. Again, it will be here in the Masonic Center at 6:30. And Kathy is bringing the food.
What time?
5, did I say 5? Did I say 6:30? 5:30. On October 2nd, we've got more time, so we'll be making this announcement again, and we'll have a flyer coming up. There's a marketing seminar open to both Rotary clubs in Sebastopol, plus the folks at the Barlow and the merchants from the Downtown Association. This was put together as part of our effort to get sponsors for Cajun, and as a sort of a payback, we've come up with this marketing seminar. It was done by Karen Miner Books, and so that'll be coming up. Other announcements for... Yes?
I have a quick happy bucks. As you know, I'm involved to Interact at El Molino, and what's really made the club go, besides the fact that the officers are doing a good job, is pizza. And the club pays for some of it, but actually the bulk of it comes from Mark Olson and Forestville Pharmacy as a major sponsor for this, and the kids are appreciative, so we'd like to give Mark an El Molino Interact t-shirt. No, I
Good morning, club. I just want to make a brief announcement. We got a letter from Sister Scarlett Billows from the Russian River Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, thanking us for our donation of poker tabletops with boxes and boxes containing thousands and thousands of poker chips in many colors. They're going to put it to use. They're going to put on a poker tournament later in the spring, and I'll keep you posted about that. So thanks to the club.
President Bill, what happens in 2 weeks? Our district governor visit.
Oh, yes.
Duh. So here's a reminder, folks. The evening before is a social for the district governor. It will be at my house at about 6. Now, he will be meeting with the board at my house also at about 4. So if you come around 6, it's the social for the district governor. It's kind of BYOB because I don't have any beer in the house.
Thank you, Barbara. Actually, I purposely left that off because since you were hosting it, I thought it would be appropriate for you to make the announcement.
Post-Cajun, I found a pair of gloves. If you're missing a pair of gloves after Cajun, come see me. I've got them.
All right.
Pair of gloves.
And they're for sale, right?
That's right. Pretty well worked, actually. I want that pair on my team.
So, Patrick, are you doing the introduction?
I am.
Wonderful.
Let me get set up for a second.